Hi guys, you're very welcome to this video, after which I hope you will have a pretty good profile of who your narcissist actually was. Or if you're in a relationship with someone that you're feeling iffy about, this is a great way to build a picture or a characterization of who the person likely is. Because narcissists always tell you who they are in these different ways that I'm going to get into now. This particular podcast as well was also inspired by a negative comment in the comment section on the last video. And normally when I would get a negative comment in, and they're very few and far between, our community is very intelligent and very positive and very helpful. But when I do get the odd negative comment, usually I'll just delete if I think it's going to be offensive to anybody. This comment, I was mulling over and I thought, this is too good to let go. It's too good of an example of how a narcissist or a narcissistic individual thinks. So that inspired this podcast. Hopefully it will be of benefit. So the 6 ways a narcissist tells you inadvertently who they are. I mean, a lot of the time we will come to our own conclusions about this when we've been discarded and the narcissist really drops the mask and we really realize who they actually are. But these 6 ways, even if you want to get a piece of paper and you go back into your memories of the relationship, or if you're dealing with an individual now that they're flying little red flags every now and again, and you'd like to get an idea of who they really are. Like, what type of a person are they really? So, because they hide behind the mask. So let's see what's going on behind the mask with these 6 points. The first very revealing thing about who a narcissist actually is, or if they're a narcissist, is an argument will come out of nowhere, and it will usually be quite unsubstantiative, in that it'll usually be over something minor, and the issue that it was over during the argument will be well lost, because the argument is basically a narcissist lambasting you about how bad you are as a person. So it's not actually about, say, you left the water running and it ran over the sink, or you didn't put a dish in the dishwasher. That may start it off, but what actually happens is the narcissist uses this as an excuse to tell you how bad you are in a series of insults. You may get 8, 10, 15 insults, characterizations or de-characterizations of your faults. This is, in effect, projection. What the narcissist is saying to you, if you write that down, if you have a memory of what they said, is exactly who the narcissist is. Because narcissists can't self-regulate, they get a bad feeling, they can't get rid of the bad feeling by going to the stability of the identity of the personality that they are and figuring it out and saying, well, I'm not all bad, I'm this and I'm that, and actually become at peace with their bad feeling or do something about it and learn from it and introspect. Instead, to get rid of the bad feeling, they have to literally vomit it up. They literally have to project it onto somebody else to get it out of their system. They literally give it to somebody else, and you take on those character traits. The narcissist feels relief because they see you suffering for the insults that they're giving you as you're getting more and more upset at the belittlement and the name calling that they go on with. So if the narcissist said to you, you feel sorry for yourself, you're lazy, you're jealous, you hate this and you hate that, the narcissist is actually giving you a characterization of who they are. This leads me into the comment that was left on the last video. And when you read comments about yourself, maybe that are nasty, or a narcissist says to you something nasty, we know from this channel and from many other channels, we very much have to concentrate on taking a breath, not reacting, not taking the comment personally, and looking at the comment and seeing what it actually means. The other thing to do is normally to ignore it. But in this instance, this is too juicy to ignore, and it is too demonstrative of how a narcissistic person thinks, because it's not something that you could possibly come up with yourself. So the comment was, it followed a comment that, that I had eye surgery on this eye, and it followed a comment of someone saying, gosh, when I look at you, it looks like it's your right eye, not your left eye, that you had surgery on. And I want to thank everybody also at the end of this video for comments that were left that really helped in relation to the eye surgery. So this person came up with a comment, oh, she's probably faking it, just looking for attention. And I thought, oh my God. I said, only a narcissist would come out, first of all, with a comment like that. And that's actually showing you how the narcissist thinks. And it's possibly something they would do for attention. So it tells you so much about the person that makes that comment, because it's literally, they would actually consider doing that to get attention themselves. Or obviously in the past, they have faked something to get attention. So guys, these little insights to who a person is are very valuable in really telling you how their thought processes work and the type of things that they would do and the type of person that they are. It's very fascinating, but I could not let that one go. So just know that there are narcissists in these communities, on these channels. I do my best to just delete if there's anything I consider offensive or not helpful to our community and our healing. But that was a real interesting one that really got me scratching my head. So I think that that's a very good example of projection, of how a narcissist thinks, because you literally couldn't make it up. You literally couldn't make it up. Imagine closing one eye. I'm just about able to open it in the last day or two. Going on YouTube and making a podcast and pretending that you had eye surgery. Only a narcissist could think like that. And that is the way they think, and that is what they do. So, number 3, another way a narcissist will really show you who they really are, and this may not happen for quite some time into the relationship, but you'll often find narcissists, a certain type of narcissists, will be very insulting to people in the service industry. They feel that they are superior to, well, they feel they're superior to everyone, doctors, lawyers, the president, they feel they're superior to everyone. But where they have a chance to actually insult someone or cause them a problem and know that that person is in a difficult position, that they can't really react in kind because they could lose their job, you'll find narcissists really hit on people who are vulnerable. And that is, in essence, who they actually are. The nastiness that they display to some people, and then the over-exaggerated kindness that they may display to some people, is telling you that this person is a false, fake person. And the side of the cruelty and the nastiness, when that's displayed, believe who they are. You know the old saying, when a person shows you who they are, when they let that out, believe that's in them. And if you think that they cannot do that to you, or they wouldn't do that to you, on the flip of a dime, believe they would. And believe it would be far worse, because you're actually a huge part of their narcissistic supply. Number 4, this is another one that I remember finding fascinating, and I'm going to give you a very personal example of a narcissist telling you who they are at the very end of this video. You may find the narcissist that you're with, particularly in a couple situation, will come home from work and say, so-and-so's going on a vacation. They're going for 2 weeks. I think we should do that. I think we should do that. Now, I know normal people do get inspired and they hear someone else going on vacation, but watch for the repetition of this. They're not happy for that person who's going on vacation, and that kind of gets across, and they want to up it or do it. It also kind of will occur, well, who does he think he is or she think they are with that new car? I mean, where did they get the money for that? It's the begrudgery of it, and we need to get a new car. You mean, if they can do it, well, we can definitely do it because, we being them, we're much better than them. So that's the one-upmanship in a person is often showing you who the person actually is, that they are very insecure, that they're very envious and jealous, that's actually who they are. So that's another, you can make a list here, particularly in retrospect. Sometimes we make a lot of excuses while this is going on. But I'd say you've got a few descriptive words if you're thinking about situations that you were in with the narcissist and the insult throwing that you received. You're going to paint a pretty good picture of who that narcissist actually was. Okay, number 5 is, did your narcissist come out with odd statements? So this would be now out of context and actually things that you just wouldn't say, like they weren't necessary to say. Now, I know some people, particularly in couples, will speak about what they expect from a relationship, etc. in the beginning. We'll talk about old relationships. We'll kind of check out the groundwork on how another person thinks what a relationship should be like. So those kind of things are pretty healthy. But you may get the narcissist, say, halfway through the relationship. Not that you knew it was halfway through, but maybe let's just take, for instance, a year and a half in, and they're saying, I don't believe in cheating. And you're going, you what? Pardon? Like, where did that come from? Why would you suddenly say, I don't believe in cheating? And you're going, well, I'm glad about that. It's not something I'd even considered. Of course, But you are kind of going, well, where did that come from? And lo and behold, you may find months down the road that the narcissist was actually cheating or was on to someone on the phone to kind of set up your replacement in the months to come after the discard. These things come back more as flashbacks. But if a person says something like that out of context and your gut is telling you that that's odd, it is odd. And it's often the narcissist actually telling on themselves, actually bringing the subject up because it's what they're doing, and they can nearly not quite keep it in because they're getting a kick out of getting one over on you. The next and final thing I have down is a personal experience that I had. And as I relate it to you, you may say, well, Paula, you were dreadfully naive in that situation. And, at that stage, you should have walked away. But the other thing I would say to you is, we don't think the worst of people in general. So thinking the worst of a person is kind of like a narcissist. That's what narcissists do, because that's their behavior and what they're capable of. And they project that onto other people, just as a normal person projects their behavior onto another person, thinking they couldn't possibly be that cruel because people in general aren't that cruel. Well, the narcissist thinks that people are. So their form of going into their form, basically going into their form of thinking is not what we do. We tend to think the best of someone and certainly not the worst of someone. So here's the situation. We were on vacation, this particular narcissist and I. It was out of season and we were having a quiet drink on deserted streets, and along came a group. We got chatting to them. They said, come on, we'll go to a particular bar that's an all-night or late-night bar. And we went down loads of different little alleyways and we ended up in this place where the local people, I think, would usually gather. We met these three lovely young people. Now, this is about 30 to 35 year age difference outside. So you're talking your kind of children. There was two lovely young men and a very attractive young woman. So we were chatting away to them, and I must say I was getting on great with them all, but particularly the two lads who were very, reminded me of my own sons, and I was asking them loads of questions, blah, blah. I then went inside and there was music and things going on inside and I was really enjoying myself. And I was chatting away and these two young men then came in about half an hour later. Now the narcissist had stayed outside. These two young men came in and said, Paula, quickly come. There was a language difference. And I said, well, why do they want me to come out? So I finished what I was doing. I didn't hurry and I went outside with these two young men and they said, quickly, he is gone with her down the street. This was the narcissist now. I was going, oh, why are they so, anxious that I should follow? Quickly, you must find them. And of course, at this stage, I would have had a few drinks and I was kind of going, what's the hurry? Why are they doing this? Why are they telling me to go and find them? And then I thought, well, why has the narcissist gone off and left me, in this place where there were strangers? So anyway, I wandered down a few streets and couldn't see anybody and went back up to the venue and waited outside until, lo and behold, 20 minutes, half an hour later, up your man pops and says, hi. And I says, where have you been? And he said, oh, I was getting some cigarettes. Now, this is, I think, 3 o'clock in the morning, no shops open, nothing open. So I said, oh, and I took it at face value. But it was afterwards that, then I think it was the next day that he said, that time I was off getting the cigarettes? And I said, yes. He said, well, I happened to come across this couple in a doorway. And they were, and I can't really say it, it's YouTube, they were getting a lot of exercise in the doorway together. And I was, well, there wasn't really anybody around. Where did this couple appear from? And he said, oh, I just saw them in the doorway. And I thought, again, your gut tells you that's really odd. That is really odd. And why would he even tell me about this? It was only after the discard. I guess we don't want to think the worst, or by thinking the worst in a situation like that, you begin to think, well, my God, I have to break the relationship up. And can I break the relationship up on just my thought that this is very odd? And the back of my mind thinking, was that you? I mean, that's kind of being a bit paranoid. And the person hasn't showed you who they really are. So you're still thinking the best of them in the relationship. But guys, let me know if this has happened to you. After the discard, understanding with the cruelty of it, understanding that the person didn't love you, and understanding their capacity for deception, cruelty, and all the other things that you realize they actually were doing in the relationship, then you realize they were actually telling on themselves. They couldn't keep it in. They were very excited about something that they had done. They do think and look at you as being very naive and stupid, but they tell on themselves. And I did bring it up again, and he was very odd about it and looked at me in a kind of knowing way, like, you know, I know, You know I know. So you look back in your relationship and tell me if there weren't strange stories coming from the narcissist, because 50% of the time they were telling on themselves about what they were actually doing. And like children or people that can't keep things in, it had to come out. They nearly wanted to tell you as a friend, even though it was something that was totally against you and against what should ever be allowed. And that, guys, is how you can actually concoct a picture or a profile of who the person was that you were with. From all those descriptions, they're actually telling you who they are. As a last part to this podcast, I would love to thank people that said they were praying for a good recovery for my eye and that were kind enough to actually comment on it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I believe that our prayers, when we all pray for something, it has a power. The collective willingness for something to be okay has a power. And I'm sure, I don't know with quantum stuff that they're proving it nowadays, but I really believe in the power of prayer. So what I would like to say is, for all the people that are suffering and are in a bad way at the moment because of, for whatever reason, but particularly in our community, if you are suffering or have suffered or finding it hard to move on or stuck on your recovery journey because of your experience with a narcissist, can we all collectively, to whatever religion we are, whatever our beliefs are, can we pray for those people right here and right now, that they will get through today and that they will go on to thrive and find joy in their lives, more joy than they've ever found before, to recompense them for the suffering that a narcissist has put them through. And if that is you today, you certainly have my prayers, and I believe the rest of the community. You look after yourself, look after yourselves, and I'll be back shortly with a fuller eye open and another video. God bless.